For me, it feels like Fujimoto can do no wrong. I've been loving a lot of Fujimoto's work as of the last few years, and he's been slowly but surely being one of my favorite authors of all time. I do love the way he can convey to me a story in some of the most interesting, darkest, or twisted of ways that he can think of to convey a message that is extremely important, but also in the same breath, a little bit complicated at times with certain characters. And creating somewhat of a discourse, and sometimes even gaining new meaning from different eyes of someone else that's never even seen the series before, after people have already read and examined the series for the longest period of time. Now, I haven't read all of the stories he's crafted, but I've read enough to know that I do love Fujimoto's work, whether we're talking about Look Back, now 17 through 26, Chainsaw which is still my favorite and I still love that to this day, or Goodbye Eerie. I say all this to say that I felt like these stories have scratched a part of my brain that didn't know that needed to be scratched, but also inspired me in a whole bunch of other ways, especially for the channel. But I do have to say, Fujimoto was in his bag when he made 17 through 26. Oh my goodness, I love most of these short stories. There's only one of them that I think that's okay or fine, but all of them are really fucking good. Don't got no feelings for no broke ass bitch. Walking second street and then I drop a bad with Chris. And it's something I highly suggest if you want to get into it. It's not that short. They only have maybe 17 through like 25 minutes per episode. Some are shorter or longer than others, but all have a story that has to be told with lessons that we should be using in a real life setting. For me, going over all of them and kind of with the lesson I kind of got from every single one of these stories. Now, I'm going to be spoiling it here and there, and I'll see if I cannot fully spoil them, but there are no promises whatsoever. So you have been warned. But without further ado, I'm going to start with the first one. A couple clucking chickens where they're still kicking in a schoolyard. That's a long ass title. With this story first starting off with aliens defeating humanity. Now, humanity is basically on the brink of extinction, and aliens have already taken over Earth and already cultivated in life, so much so to the point where they're kind of like humans in the sense of how they live their life. Obviously, they all look like aliens. And with it being not that many survivors, we only follow 2 human survivors. Yuto and Amy, who are basically pretending to be chickens because these aliens in this sector don't really eat chickens. So all they do is have like a mascot head of a chicken, and they have been acting like chickens for the last few months until they eventually get found out. Now, this is one of my favorite stories out of the 8 stories that we get from 17 through 26. Now, it's one of my favorite stories because it asks a few questions to the audience that feels like you should ponder for a bit. Like, for example, with one of the questions I felt like it asks is, should we even be eating other life forms or other life beings that are out there? Because the aliens in here eat the humans, and then it gets asked from one alien to another, should we really even be eating humans because they have intelligence? Is this really the right thing to do? And this puts a perspective on the other alien to be like, huh, I never really thought about that. I just always thought about kind of myself because that's kind of the only thing that matters. So why would I ever think about anything else if it doesn't affect me negatively? But then another alien pops up and tries to justify what is going on by saying, hey, their humans are really just like other animals that we do eat out there, as well as they eat chicken, so they're weird anyway. And it feels like, one, it's a bit of a cultural exchange, how like, oh, we eat different things, you guys eat different things. But 2, it feels like whenever you get your own footing or your own pace of thinking, there can always be someone out there that will try to conform you on the way of your thinking, as well as just society making you think that this is okay to do. It's been a norm for so long, so then why would we stop our norm? Why would we stop our culture? This is who we are as a people. But the question is, do we have to be? One of my favorite quotes that was said by a very important person in my life, my father, he told me in life there will be 2 things, change and more change. With the twist of the story also being that the first human that's with this little girl actually was an alien that attacked this little girl when they were already attacking Earth in a gymnasium, and the alien actually came to understand the human. It wanted to understand what it is like to be a human, understandment, and then chose to protect this little girl until it basically perished from a different other alien. It's like the simple tale that they tell every single child that's out there that at least has gotten education: put your foot in someone else's shoes, have an understanding of other people. You don't have to fully understand this person to not be an asshole, to just have your heart out and just be kind to one another. And as I was saying before, with change and more change, for this story it does have a change. All the humans become extinct. Yeah, it's a little bleak, but that's the end of the story. Which is dark, but also realistic for a whole bunch of extinct animals that we've already had on this planet, and how that's kind of our fault for some of these animals that did become extinct. The next one that might actually be my favorite, Sasuke Stopped the Bullet. This story first starts out with the character by the name of Sasuke, as well as his teacher. Now, he loves his teacher. He basically calls his teacher a god, which we later found out why is because his teacher gave him a whole bunch of inspiration and a whole bunch of determination and just kept pushing him to be a better person. Now, one of the days that they're in class with Sasuke Sasuke as well as his teacher, one of the teacher's old classmates bursts into the classroom with a weapon and points it at her, saying that it is all your fault because you rejected me. My life went downhill. Now I'm going to shoot you in front of this whole classroom, or you can just take off your clothes and we can just have sex. What? Wild premise, I know, stick with me. Sasuke stands up and says, no, you shouldn't be doing this. I won't allow this to happen. I won't allow you to defile this woman. The man shoots his gun at him and he catches the bullet. As we reminisce to a period before where he was talking to his teacher and he kept saying how everyone keeps making fun of him for his dream of him wanting to go to the moon because his dad is there. Even though he is dead, he still believes that he is there. And his teacher responds back to him saying, we let other people shape our own worldviews. This is why this is one of my favorite episodes out of the whole series, because there is never a 0% chance for a majority of things in life. Now this story takes it to the extreme, but the main point of it is you should try. No matter if that chance is 0.1%, there is still a chance there for you to succeed, for you to go and follow your dreams. You're letting other people shape the way of your world, the way of how you do things, how you act, how you react, what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. When in reality, it's all on you. It'll be this way if you let it be this way. With Sasuke catching a bullet and telling the gunman that he should just give up, and even though the gunman's like, I'll literally go to jail, why should I stop? I'll just literally just go back and regress to even worse state of life. And then he tells him and yells at him, you can actually become one of the best people around. You're giving up before you even attempt to try to become a better person. You're going to go to his university, you're going to be a great person. Literally believe in that. And one of my favorite phrases that the teacher says out her mouth is, change my definition of common sense. People have done things that are out of the norm, so why doesn't he have the chance to do that himself? With me also loving this because Sasuke getting up and actually talking to the gunman, not only talking him down, not only catching a bullet, but him just standing up and saying something when no one else wants to say something. The percentage rate realistically would be low. No one would actually attempt to talk to the gunman or even attempt to stop the gunman, but he chose, even though the percentage is low for this to happen and the percentage is high for him to die, he still gets rid of the norm, which would be dying or having the gunman have his way. As the teacher says, change my definition of common sense. The next one, which is in my opinion a beautiful comedy romance, which is Love is Blind. Now with Love is Blind, all it is just this character by the name of Ibuki, who is the student council, is actually madly in love with his fellow member Yuri. Now Yuri is the only member that is in the student council. Now he's about to graduate and go on with his life, but he hasn't said that he loves her. So as the episode is going on, he keeps attempting to say I love you, but everything keeps stopping him in that way, whether it be his principal, whether it be a mugger, whether it be an alien attempting to take over the world. But this also feeling multi-layered, like for example, the weighing weight of you saying something feels like all these things would stop you, or it feels like the end of the world of you attempting to go and say it. Especially from a person like myself that has anxiety here and there, it feels like that at times. It feels like maybe an alien might come down and destroy my world before I even get the chance to say it. But in the middle of you saying it, you're like, oh, that wasn't too hard, that wasn't too bad of a thing to do or say. One of my favorite things about this episode, he says it indirectly. Now he says it in a sentence where he's not actually speaking to her, but she hears the sentence and understands it, basically indicating that there's never a perfect timing for anything. Go ahead and do it. If you want to go do something, go ahead and do it. There will be no time like the fucking present. You don't know when the world will end. You don't know when you will still be alive the next day. So live in the moment here and now. It also has a small side note of when the alien does come down and is about to destroy the earth and he's about to talk to Yuri. He's like, yo, you're not poor right now. I have to tell this girl that I love her. But the girl's like, whoa, hold on. The world's literally going to end. You should probably address this first before you come talk to me. Also indicating that you shouldn't let love blindly let you do anything else that isn't important in your life. If you have something important, figure that out and do it first before you go ahead and try to attempt to be in a relationship. You can't throw stones at people when you live in a glass house. The next story, which is probably my close second favorite, which is Shikaku. Now Shikaku starts out with this story of this little girl who was basically probably 6 or 7 at the time, and she's basically pulling apart spiders, and the mother is going ballistic in the sense of she's like, I fully reject this child. I don't know what's wrong with her, but I'm done. she's a weirdo, I don't want to be around her. And the father's like, how could you really say that about your child? And as the child, Shizuka, comes up to the mother saying, oh, I heard what you said, I'm sorry, I won't pull any more spiders, I'll just pull on dragonflies, the mother just starts beating her viciously because of what she said. She's then put in a closet, and then she asks, why doesn't anyone forgive me when I apologize to them? Time skip to when she's about 16, and she's actually become a full-blown assassin, and she's offered $100 million to kill this one person. And when she attempts to kill him with a shotgun and a knife, he still is alive, and it's found out that he's a vampire that's lived for thousands of years, and he's very disappointed, but still says, thank you, you tried. And that actually activates something in Shizuka. She's screaming out of her window while she's on the news, and the reason why is because she's obviously an assassin, and the police want to take her down, and they're shooting her and putting bullets all throughout her. And she's like, oh, I'm talking to the news, oh, Igeru, if you're looking at me, the vampire, I'm in love with you. That's why the doctor is thinking that I feel this way. So I guess I love you. And it makes the vampire really laugh his ass off. As he states before that he's already been feeling really sad for the last few thousand years. He's accomplished everything and he just wants to die. He's only been trying to off himself for the last few thousand years, and he hasn't even been able to laugh in the last 2,000 years. So then he decides to come and save her and make her a vampire. From this story, it feels like it just oozes positive reinforcement. Both of these characters, Igeru as well as Shizuka, didn't have any positive reinforcement. Especially for him living out the few thousands of years as a vampire, he didn't have any positive reinforcement. He literally didn't have a lease on life. He wanted to die. He didn't want to live until this woman came into his life and made him laugh. It gave him a spark, a will to continue on going on with life. And then with Shizuka, she was being beaten for the way that she was. She didn't have the positive reinforcement of, hey, this is wrong, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. Let me teach and guide you to this. The parents just said, fuck it, we give up on you. You don't have a positive role model in your life anymore. Saying that if you don't have that positive notion in life, it can lead you down a horrific path. Like, for example, like I said, with the vampire, of him wanting to off himself, or him not really having any care in the world. And what it feels like is him oozing off that negativity that was based upon him. For example, why I think this is the case is because with Shizuka, she's just a regular assassin. Why would you ask a regular assassin to kill you? I'm pretty sure you tried everything from A to Z, so why would this one assassin help you do that? Maybe you wanted to belittle the assassin before you went out, or you wanted to attempt to try something different, but you still did it regardless. And being a positive notion on her life when it's the littlest things that make someone the most happiest, which is just thank you, which is so ridiculous. It makes him happy and makes both of them want to come together with each other and be together in the end. Now the next one that I thought was cool, the more I think about it, the more I feel like that I'm liking it more and more, which is Mermaid Rhapsody. Now with Mermaid Rhapsody, there's a half man, half mermaid out there who basically keeps playing the piano because his mother taught him how to play that piano. And then there's a mermaid that's out there that finds him and actually wants to play piano but hates humans. She learns to like and appreciate humans, and she actually learns to play the piano because he teaches her. Now the man Toshihide doesn't go to the ocean or even plays the piano for a long period of time because the other mermaid, Shiju, actually attempted to bite him and even eat him because a shark had came in the water and already attacked him randomly, and then made the blood go in the water and her transform into a beastly mermaid to attack him. But in the end, they still come together and attempt to play together with the piano and teach other mermaids about the piano. This definitely shows the lesson of you shouldn't let the past dictate the future. Now with the mermaids and humans, they already have a lot of beef because there have been instances of them eating each other, whether it be the mermaids eating the humans or the humans eating the mermaids, and that's always caused a rift apart between humans and mermaids, leading to ideologies of hate between each other. But these two characters kind of weave the lines or blur the lines when it comes to that hatred between each other. They don't let the past determine their future. They don't let the sins of the people that came from before them influence their actions in the day and now. Now at first, the mermaid does believe that, hey, all humans are bad, we should just eat humans, it is what it is. But she then learns that's not the case. I shouldn't be doing that or having that thinking, leading to like a new era where humans and mermaids can kind of coexist to an extent. Next up, we have Woke Up as a Girl syndrome. Oh, Fujimoto, you do have a way with words, my friend. Oh, Fujimoto. The story first starts out with a kid by the name of Toshihide, who obviously turns into a girl because of the title of the fucking episode, but he turns into a female, and it kind of completely flips and changes his life in completely obvious ways when he turns into from a boy to a girl. Like, for example, harassment, him now having different feelings, or him trying to have an understanding of who he is, especially with him and his girlfriend or him and his friends, with the whole episode basically boiling down to, who am I? If I obtained something that was life altering, will I still be the same person? Will this still make me be me. This is a tale as old as time, just repackaged in different format, which is basically the journey of discovery and understanding. By the end of the story, he doesn't turn back into a boy. He still is a girl by the end of the story, but he understands and knows, no, I'm still a boy at heart. This is who I am. This is what I've been doing my whole life, and this is just who I am. I don't have to be something different because my life is now completely changed. I don't have to be a girl. I don't have to do girly things. I'm still me inside, and nothing will change that unless I choose to change that inside of myself. And Fujimoto, as well as just the animation team that did work on this too, they did a wonderful job, like just depicting how harassment could go for a female, as well as just how weird people can inherently be. Kind of reminded me of a scene that was in Perfect Blue, which honestly I do really want to make a video out of that because I did see that film for the first time recently. If you do want me to talk about Perfect Blue, please comment it in the comment section. Also, like, comment, subscribe. But back at hand, it does give a small little glimpse into a female's perspective. Obviously, we can never fully understand unless you are a female. When you're on the bus, on the train, or how you just feel in general when people are looking at you. As well as a beautiful supporting cast as someone that has transitioned into someone else. Next up is Naira of the Prophecy. Now, I like this story a good amount. It does boil down at the end of it to being the nature versus nurture aspect of things, but let me at least get into what this is firstly. So, with the story of Naira, it's basically a prophecy of a cursed child that will end all of humanity because she's going to be such a powerful mage that she just completely ends humanity. Starting off with the parents, first the mother dies because the child is born. Second, with the second parent, the father, he actually takes care of both of the kids because not only is it the child of prophecy, but the child of prophecy has a brother, and the brother is taking care of her as well as the father. Now the father says, take care of her, please, she's your only sister, you guys are family, and I love you guys no matter what. And obviously he dies, and then it's only the two siblings left in the household. And the brother carries on this philosophy of always taking care of his sister, no matter how much fucked up shit she does, whether it be her eating other animals or her just like killing other animals that are outside, and the brother just like trying to keep a living for both of the kids. Well, all this comes back to what I said earlier in the video, which is understanding. Him not being able to understand the child of prophecy, because not only does the child of prophecy going to end the world, but you can't understand her in a conventional way. And it's not till the end of the story where the guy actually understands, oh my goodness, my sister actually loves me back. I can't understand what she's saying or how she shows her way of love, which is giving dead animals so her brother could be fed, or protecting her brother when her brother is in danger. This feels like a story of like, how far would you go for family, and would you believe it if anyone would tell you, hey, this child has to go, this child has to die? With the added bonus of, do you act like a sheep in false society in how they're telling you how to do something, or do you use your own mind to make your own decision making and be like, this is the actual right choice for not only me but my family moving forward? Completely evading the norm itself, which the norm would be, hey, my sister is actually a demon, we should get rid of her and you should join society, in that sense of killing her. But he chooses to stay with his family. He chooses to think for himself. He chooses to believe in something that is the unbelievable. There's nothing wrong with my sister. For some people in this world, they don't really have much but the family. They only have each other to rely on, and as long as you have that, then you can continue moving forward. Get that bullshit off the screen. And speaking of family, with the last story called Sisters, involving a nude portrait of a high school girl. Yeah, Fujimoto has a way of telling a story. Anyways, the portrait is up in an art school, and a nude girl is basically a student that goes there, Mitsuko, and Mitsuko is extremely embarrassed for obvious reasons. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it with her. All the teachers or her parents are seeing this image, and as she goes up to the principal or one of the teachers to try to get it taken down, he says, oh, only the person that did it can want to get it taken down. I'm sorry, I can't really do anything about it. We do it every single year. That's insane, but wait! There's more! The person that did the portrait was actually her sister. When Mitsuko asks Kyoko, can you please take down this portrait, she says, no, I'm not going to do that. Funny enough, this story evolves into writer's block, evolution, and not giving up, with the little added spice of not feeling like you're good enough to move on to the next level. I say all this because the story explains to us in vivid detail how Mitsuko was the classic big sister. She was kind of the best at everything, and her sister always followed behind her, trying to kind of catch up to her. But then there was a day where her little sister caught up to her and even surpassed her in some regards. And with Mitsuko always being used to being on top, she wasn't used to being in behind, being number two to her little sister. It kind of ate away at her to a certain degree and made her stop doing things that she loved, stop doing things she enjoyed. It became a complete block in her brain for her to continue doing what she wanted to do. But cut to what I think about what the painting really symbolizes. Now she's completely naked in the portrait, right? Now what I think of when I think of naked is just being afraid, now not naked afraid, but also being vulnerable at the same time. And the more I thought about it, the more I made it make sense in my head. She is vulnerable at this stage in her life. This is a make or break moment in her life where she could either succeed and go way farther than she ever dreamed of, or she could be broken and sad and upset about what she's doing with her life and how her sister is above her in this moment of time, not wanting to catch up to her little sister or see the things how she saw it of, oh, I'm in the back, it's time to move forward, it's time to even surpass you or be with you right next to you. Just because someone's good at something doesn't mean you guys can both be good at something at the same time. Two things can be true at once. There's always going to be that obstacle in life that kind of stops you from doing what you want to do or progressing and moving forward to being the best person that you possibly can be, but it always boils down to you. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to change it? How are you going to attack and handle this and become something great? You're not going to let this little small thing in the grand scheme of things stop you. This is your make or break. This is your chance. This is your golden ticket into doing what you wanted to do the whole time. So what is stopping you? You gotta start somewhere, so start here and now, because why not? There's no time like the present. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.